I want to start by thanking Private Internet Access VPN for sponsoring today's video. Today's video has a very urgent warning behind it. Let me play you a short clip now, and this is a genuine undercover clip that I recorded in a bank, and this is me and the advisor speaking.
Hello. Okay.
Hi there, yeah, I just spoke to the lady at the front about my account that's been closed, but I don't know why, and there's money in it.
Okay. Yeah, I think she mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
Because we don't get to know at all the specifics of why it's been closed.
To be honest, all I want is the money that's in the accounts.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Is they can provide proof of where those funds have come from?
That's crazy, but they're my funds. Why would I need to prove? Well, what do you mean I need to prove? I don't understand.
Because I can't see your account at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. But that's, generally, that would be, if there's any funds in there and the account's been closed, generally that's what happens. That they put you to prove where the funds have come from. To prove they're yours, basically, which can be like...
Yeah, but I don't understand why, if it's my money, why do I have to... You see, a bank is just a commercial institution.
Mm-hmm.
What has that got to do with my... I don't understand why I need to prove my money with a private business that's...
There's no way for me to know without seeing your account, because on the notes it would tell me, I'd say roughly why it's been closed, what proof of funds you have to supply.
So this is the first time you've heard of this, that someone's come in saying their account's been closed?
Oh no, it happens every day. It happens every day.
Yeah, I know it does, because there's something strange going on. If you want to hear that full clip, I'm going to play it for you at the end of this video so you can see actually what happened there and the 2 times I went into the bank and what the end result was. Well, why this video and why now? I've been noticing over the last year a lot of the more worrying things, shall we say, that I was forecasting and warning you all about have slowly been starting to come to fruition. And although I haven't been talking about the events that have been happening in Canada recently, I am just going to touch upon that right now because I do think it plays into this whole situation.
Canada has invoked rarely used emergency powers against the ongoing truckers' protest. Only the second time in Canadian history that such powers have been invoked.
As you know, I have a lot of Canadian subscribers who watch my video. Also in my private Patreon community, I have a lot of Canadians. And some of the messages that I've been getting, private messages, emails to the office, have been deeply, deeply disturbing. And this ranges from the leader or the organizer of the Freedom Convoy potentially getting 10 years in prison now, 10-year prison sentence. There's also talk of those truckers' vehicles being confiscated and sold at public auction.
Authorities would be guaranteed more powers to arrest protesters and seize their trucks.
And if some of the politicians get their way, those truckers will also receive a prison sentence. Of course, they've already been labelled as terrorists under the Emergency Powers Act.
In addition to providing police resources, Canada will broaden the scope of its anti-money laundering and terrorist financing rules to cover crowdfunding platforms.
Another person contacted me to say that their dog, who was in their cab with them, they've been told their dog is going to be confiscated by the government and destroyed potentially. And this is one of the problems you see with emergency powers. I mentioned this more than a year ago now. When you give the government these emergency powers, they never want to give them back. And they use them to take greater and greater control over the citizens. Now, of course, they're using these emergency powers, this new act, to target the finances of the people, of the citizens.
The government is issuing an order with immediate effect under the Emergencies Act, authorizing Canadian financial institutions to temporarily cease providing financial services where the institution suspects that an account is being used to further the illegal blockades and occupations.
I want to introduce you now to the sponsor of today's video, Private Internet Access VPN, which is a VPN company that I use personally, so does my private community, and we use it to keep ourselves safe online. A VPN hides your IP address and then it encrypts your internet traffic so that hackers can't see what you're looking at online. This of course includes keystrokes, so they can't see your username and passwords. So when it comes to your internet security, one really easy step that you can take, and I recommend, is a private internet access VPN. It really is super simple. It's just one click to turn it on, one click to turn it off. So if you watch my videos, I'm assuming you do some sort of finance online, from internet banking, 401k, pensions, anything like that, you need to make sure that your internet traffic is encrypted from hackers. So here's just a couple of benefits then of private internet access VPN. They have more than 30 million downloads globally. They have thousands of VPNs in different countries. So this allows you to bypass geography-based content which may be blocked in your country. It works on various computers and operating systems from Mac to Windows, etc. They have 24-hour customer service and support. And if you're not completely satisfied with the service, they even have a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's really simple to get started. Just head over to privateinternetaccess.com/Neil. I'm going to put this link in the description and also as a pinned comment below, just to make it easier for you to find. You're going to land on this page here then, and you're going to get this offer today for just $1.98 per month, a saving of 83%. You'll also get an extra 4 months free when you sign up for 3 years. So make sure to get this amazing deal today then. Protect your finances, protect your internet traffic online. And now back to the video. And look, if this can happen in Canada, I remember when Americans were fleeing over the border to Canada for greater freedom. Now it seems to be that they're going the other way. They're crossing the border into America.
We are making these changes because we know that these platforms are being used to support illegal blockades and illegal activity. The government will also bring forward legislation to provide these authorities to FinTrack on a permanent basis.
Another person emailed me to say that last week, and this is a lady, a mother with children, that she was in the grocery store just last week trying to buy groceries and her card was declined. She tried her other card, declined. She tried her checking account card, her current account card, as we say in the UK, declined. Now, you may think, well, why is that? Is that a coincidence? That is, of course, until I heard from a lot of other people, I wasn't even aware of this, that the government stated under the Emergency Act, anyone who donated $10 or more, and again, don't quote me on that exact currency amount there, but anyone who donated that amount would be labeled as aiding and abetting a terrorist cell.
This order covers both personal and corporate accounts.
Now, I didn't believe any of this. I thought there's no way this would possibly happen until I started looking into it and seeing some of these briefings, press conferences by the Deputy PM. And if you haven't seen any of these, they are absolutely baffling. I mean, it's just as if these sort of things are normal. Freezing people's bank accounts, confiscating assets.
As of today, a bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so, they will be protected against civil liability for actions taken in good faith.
Labeling people as terrorists for a peaceful protest.
This is about following the money. This is about following the money.
Now, I mentioned last week that I woke up in the morning and was just flooded with messages, and Twitter was going crazy about these banks in Canada that were all closed on the same day, that people were trying to make transactions. None of them were going through. Businesses were trying to pay invoices. Nothing was working. All of this occurred on the same day. Believe me, it is not a coincidence.
The government will also allow banks to temporarily freeze the accounts of those suspected of supporting the blockades without obtaining a court order.
Another video series I made, a 3-part series on the Great Depression, and you may remember one of the stories I referenced or alluded to there, where the man who was writing the diary, his best friend was one of the bank managers. The bank manager said to him, "There's nothing to worry about, everything's fine." The very next day or the day after, that bank closed its doors and never reopened again. A lot of people lost their money. And of course, a year ago now, I warned you all about bail-ins and told you about bail-in law. In fact, I've got some of the information here. In 2010, the USA passed a law known as statutory bail-ins, which includes expanded powers to the Federal Reserve the Security and Exchange Commission, which you'll know as the SEC, and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, whereby bank holding companies and significant non-bank holding companies can be placed in receivership under federal contract with the FDIC acting as receiver. The IMF then produced a paper on bail-ins on the 24th of April 2012, where a new plan was created for solving banking crises. This included a bail-in mechanism that they say, and I quote, aims to ensure that banks, shareholders and creditors pay their share of costs. The key word here is creditors, because that's what you and I are. We are bank creditors. Again, people don't realize this, that when you put money into a bank account, the ownership of that money then transfers to the bank. Just 11 months later then was the first case of bail-in, which occurred in Cyprus, where bank depositors lost a lot of their money. And let me give you some more specifics on that. The bank bailed in 21,000 savers who had deposits in the bank. Anyone with more than 100,000 euros in their account saw roughly 50% of their savings converted to equity, making them 81.4% owners of an insolvent bank. But in real person speak here, they had their money stolen. But it doesn't just end there. Let's look at Europe. In Europe, the Bank Recovery and Resolution Directive, BRRD, was introduced in 2014 across the then EU 20. So that was the 28 countries that were in the EU at that time. And you think it's just Europe? No, it's also the G20 countries as well. I can almost guarantee you that if you look up your country, it will be on this list. This entire situation is leading to what I talked about more than a year ago when my Great Reset video was banned, where I talked about why all of these organizations were getting together, every single one of them financial institutions, how it then became Build Back Better, how it's now moved on to carbon net zero. All of this is leading to one outcome, and it's not a positive one. So my recommendation to all of you is the same as I've been given over the last year. Do not leave all of your savings in one bank account. Just look at the lessons that we've had from Canada, with so many people having their accounts frozen, so many people trying to get money out of the banks. Why did they close the banks? To stop a bank run, because they say they have a lot of cash in the banks, but personally I don't believe the banks are holding a lot of cash anymore. I think this is all part of the plan to transition to the central bank digital currency, to get rid of cash so that everything is online, everything can be tracked very easily. And of course now with all of these emergency powers that the government have, which they've passed on to financial institutions, this is not looking good for the everyday citizen. Now, I'm not going to start giving recommendations today around what to do with your cash and what to do when you remove it from the bank and things like that. I've covered that a lot of times. I cover it in the private community as well, because I don't want to get into, swept up into the realm of, oh, Neil's now giving financial advice and that's how we can, ban this video and ban this other video here. But look, I mean, if this can happen to me, and look how careful I am with my money and finances, 3 of my bank accounts were closed with no records anywhere. I'm going to play you the audio just as we close now so that you can hear. There is no record of my bank accounts on the system. There is no record of me when I provide them with my passport. The banks are a law unto themselves and they make up their own rules. If you trust them with your life savings in one bank account, more fool you. And with all of that said, I'm now going to play you the undercover clip that I recorded each time I went into the bank.
Hello, yeah.
Hi there, yeah, I just spoke to the lady at the front about my account that's been closed, but I don't know why, and there's money in it.
Okay. Yeah, I think she mentioned it to me.
Yeah. So there's actually 3 accounts. It's not just one, there's 2 other accounts with it.
Okay.
It's a wild goose chase.
Okay.
But yeah, this has been going for 3 months. I found out about 6 weeks ago I came in, and then I've been trying to sort this out, and
there's literally no way for us to ID you because it's not working.
Yeah.
Usually we send out like a text message to your phone.
Yeah.
We can't do that because there's no accounts that are active.
Yeah.
We would be able to see roughly why it's been closed, very roughly that, because we don't get to know at all the specifics of why I've been closed.
To be honest, all I want is the money that's in the accounts.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Now, last time he did all the security stuff, asked ID, where do you your address, etc.
Yeah.
My point is, he couldn't help me once I'd passed the security.
Yeah.
So if I give you my passport right now, what are you going to be able to do?
Well, there wouldn't be massive amounts difference, because if there's a note on there saying if there was any funds that are in there, to close the account, they'd have to make the funds zero, basically, to close it. They then get put into a sundry account.
Yeah.
This is all hypothetical, so I can't see the account.
Sure.
Usually what will happen now is they need to provide proof of where those funds have come from. You send them off to our proof of funds team.
Yeah.
They review them, then put a note on here saying that you can access the funds, and then you come in and access them from the counter there.
That's crazy. But they're my funds. Why would I need to prove? What do you mean I need to prove? I don't understand.
So as I said, it's hypothetical. Because I can't see your account at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. But that's, generally, that would be, if there's any funds in there and the account's been closed, generally that's what happens. That they put you to prove where the funds have been from. To prove they're yours, basically, which can be like...
Yeah. But I don't understand why, if it's my money, why do I have to... You see, a bank is just a commercial institution.
Mm-hmm.
What has that got to do with I don't understand why I need to prove my money with a private business that's...
There's no way for me to know without seeing your account, because on the notes it would tell me, I say roughly why it's been closed, what proof of funds you have to supply, and from that we can sort of judge what you need to show. Because if it's like a transfer in from someone, you're going to need to prove where that money's coming from.
There's a lot of transfers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but as I say,
so I think this is just a wild goose chase right now. I don't know what you're going to be able to see that he couldn't see, because there was no notes on the account.
Yeah, there's no way for me to answer that, to be honest, because without me looking on it, I literally don't know.
Okay, but if it says the same as what he told me, that there's nothing on the account, then what do I do? Because I've already phoned up and done all this, and they...
Usually the any correspondence would be letters that have been sent out to you about it.
No, there was no letters.
Yeah.
100%. So this is the first time you've heard of this, that someone's come in saying their account's been closed?
Oh no, it happens every day.
Yeah, I know it does. Because there's something strange going on.
There's nothing strange. There's a lot of reasons that accounts can get closed. You break in terms and conditions.
I don't know.
Well, that's I say. There's no way for me to know because I can't see your account.
All right. Cheers. Thank you. Right. I'm back. So I already spoke to and a couple of your other colleagues. So my bank account's been closed, and I don't know why. And I phoned up online, and they don't know why. So no one knows why my bank account's been closed. All right. Thanks. Yeah. Hi, mate. I've been in a few times, like 5 or 6 times, about my account. It's been closed and no one knows why. So they told me to bring the ID in so that you could look at my account and find out. But I phoned up, I've done the online, everything. No one knows why. So I don't know why. They said they can't help me online. I have to come into branch with some photo ID. I don't know why. It's a bit of a wild goose chase, you see. I'm back and forth, back and forth. This has been going on for a long time now. The main issue is I just want the funds that are in that account. It had funds in there.
Let me just see what we can do.
I get my ID back.
Just need to write the details so that they know you came in.
Okay, sure. Is this a normal thing for someone to have an account closed and no one can?
I'm not too sure. See, I'm not sure why that is happening.
Yeah, it's not just this. It's 3 of my accounts. You can see nothing.
Nothing on the account. Let me just find out.
Okay. Alright, well thank you so much for watching my video today. I really appreciate it. Please click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely share this video with the people in your community, in your network that need to see it. Learn from the mistakes, learn from what has happened to other people over the last year. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you next time.